Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, and as I'm actually pre-recording this on New Year's Day, welcome to 2024. Today I'm going to show you how to make this offset gatefold card. I had actually made a few of them for Christmas, which is quite handy because it shows you the different styles that you can do, where the shorter side is on the left and this one, the shorter side, is on the right. I actually based this, believe it or not, on where the stars were, if there were any, that it looked like the polar bear was looking towards. So that's what I based these cards on. This one, not so much. I just chose some of the lovely papers that are in the new designer series pack, which are coming in the new mini catalogue and the celebration catalogue, and these both start on January 4th. So whatever you buy out of the annual catalogue or this one, you can choose free products out of this one, depending if you spend $50 or $100. So these are actually the stamps, and the papers I'm using are ones that you've bought. They're not actually a free one, but once we get rolling with celebration, I'll probably do a few of those too. So I'm going to be using the Be My Valentine stamp set, the Be My Valentine Punch, which is a bundle. It's a cute little bee. And then there's also the designer series paper, which goes with the pack, which is called Be Mine. So without further ado, let me get started and show you how we made it. It's using a piece of cardstock, which is 8.5 by 5.5, the usual size. And it's scored, it's actually scored this way. It's scored at 1 1/4 and 5.5. So let me go ahead and get those folded over. Just need to make sure that they butt up nicely against each other before you commit them to the bone fold, and then it keeps it nice and tight. Now the polar bear ones I did, one side was the opposite of the other side of the piece of designer series paper, so I cut it at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 and then cut one side down by 1 inch. This one not so much. These are actually two different sheets of paper, so it's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4 and 1 by 5 1/4. So let me go ahead and quickly get those stuck on. And the other thing, of course, is because the petal pink is a nice light colour, doesn't necessarily need a white layer inside. You can put one if you want to, or something that coordinates, but usually the recommendation is if your cardstock is dark, you need something light enough to write on, and in this instance we don't need to do that. So I've popped those both on. I'll go ahead and get some of the stamping done now. This is just basic white, and I cut it with the stylish shapes, and it's, I don't know what size it is actually. It's 2 1/4. It's the second one in, so it gives us the nice little edge. And then I cut a piece of granny apple green, which coordinates with the green in the designer series paper, and that's just a 2.5 inch square. So let me, I've got so many. Right, we're going to put the bee trail on the top of the piece of basic white, just at a slight little angle. So you can see here, it looks like it runs up to where the bee is. So that's the black for that part taken care of. Then we're going to put the greeting on. You will always be the one for me. A little bit corny, but who doesn't like a little joke for Valentine's Day? So that's the red done, and then there is a cute little multi-heart stamp. So I'm just going to stamp that 3 times across the bottom, and that makes the piece that connects the two sides together. So we'll put some adhesive quickly on the back. Oops. Ooh. And that's the piece ready. So now all we need, that will go there, as you can see from the sample. What we need to do is make the bee. Best fun ever. It's a 2-step, 3-step, multi-step, not quite sure. So what it needs are some pieces of basic white cardstock, and these are just cut at 1 1/4 because they fit into the punch nicely. And this was a little piece of the petal pink that I had left over from another project, and I went ahead and stamped the wings. I'd actually stamped the wings originally in white. This is the little guy that I made first until I realized he was actually not facing the way that I needed him to be for the side that I designated the card to. So it looks quite cute with white wings, but then I thought, well, if the bee in the designer series paper has got pink wings, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take the petal pink and just stamp. These actually look like bunny ears to me, but stamp the wings. And then when we come to punch it out of the punch, you can actually see they're 2 hearts. There's a big heart and a little heart, but we'll use them for the elements that we need. So we're just going to line them up in the punch upside down as usual. Punch that out, and then we've got wings, but we still don't have a little bee to attach them to. So I'm going to bring in the Daffodil Delight. Oops. Old style pad, nearly forgot myself there for a minute, and we'll stamp the body in Daffodil Delight. Nice and easy, nice big yellow oval. And then we'll bring in the Memento Black, and we'll bring in the 2-step of the body. It's going to be a little bit hard because the best way to do this is to look and line it up. So I hope my big fat noggin doesn't get in the way and stop me getting it lined up too well. No, ta-da! Feeling quite pleased with that actually. So then what we'll do is we'll pop that into the punch, and we can just line his little stinger tail up. And you might be thinking, but you're still doing them the wrong way around. Actually not, because we have to put it that way so we get the stinger to the left, and then it's universal. So we can just flip him round. I'm actually getting red ink on everything. Help, I'm making a mess. Let me close that actually because we don't need it anymore. And then what we need to do is attach his wings to the back. So I'm just going to bring in my little silicone pad, so when I put the adhesive on, it doesn't get off onto my work surface, and attach that quickly behind. And then what we need to do is stamp his little antenna. So I took them all out, and rather than get lost on my table or have to find them in the stamp box, I put all the pieces that I needed onto a spare block. So we'll take the hearts off because we've done those already, and then we're going to get the basic black back in and quickly stamp the antenna, which is easy enough to do. And then we'll put that into the punch where it goes. And as you can see, you're basically just punching a heart shape around them, so you can use it to punch out your bee antenna, or you can use it just to punch out a heart for Valentine's. And then the best way to attach this, because it's so small, I thought, was to use a glue dot. So let me just put a little glue dot on the very tip of that, and then it can just go behind and be in the right place. And then last but not least, what we need to do is give him a little happy face. So using the last of the 3 itty bitty little punches that I saved, we'll get him a little happy face. How cute is that? I was like, I have to have that set just for the face of the bee. So we'll pop all the bits out of the way, the little spare bits, and then we'll get to assembling the main card, which of course I put off carefully to one side and have completely lost. bit scatterbrained, or should I say no less scatterbrained in the new year than I was last year. So let me put this here. I'm trying to see if we can save as much of the bees as possible on this piece of cardstock on the designer series paper, and then we can pop this guy up here. You'll still hold them in place. So using our ZZ technique, we'll flip it over so we know we can't put glue beyond these two places. Put a nice big strip of adhesive down there, so when it's folded open there is none on the inside. And then we just need to bring in some dimensionals, and we'll put 2 on his body and 1 in the middle of his wings. Peel the backing papers off quickly. And then if we put the bee up here, obviously we have to remember not to stick it down with the dimensionals. The dimensionals are just going to be on there to hold that in place, and then that's what holds it close. So there you have it. 2 almost the same. The only difference is I moved this up so I could get more of the bees on the little 1-inch strip of the designer series paper. The bee does stamp in the opposite direction if you had wanted to do it that way around. Obviously not with this designer series paper because it has an orientation. But the bee is very flexible. He'll fly to the left or fly to the right. And that's it, my love. So, like I say, welcome back to my channel for 2024. If you like what you've seen, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. If you share me, anything that you care to do with me would be absolutely fabulous. And let's start as we mean to go on. Last but not least, thanks so much for watching.